the Brown-Coakley race in Massachusetts. So we asked pollster Frank Luntz to get some folks together to look at some of the key TV ads. Here's one of them. Go.
Who is Scott Brown, really? A Republican, in lockstep with Washington Republicans. He'll block tougher oversight of Wall Street, give more tax breaks to the wealthiest, oppose new prescription coverage for millions of seniors. Brown even favors letting hospitals deny emergency contraception to rape victims.
By now, you've probably seen the negative ads launched by Martha Coakley and her supporters. Instead of discussing issues like health care and jobs, they decided the best way to stop me is to tear me down. But the old way of doing things won't work anymore. Their attack ads are wrong and go too far.
All right, joining us now from Washington is Dr. Frank Luntz. First of all, you had trouble rounding up some Coakley supporters for your soiree last night, I understand, right?
Yeah, this only happened once before to me. It was prior to the 2004 Dean campaign. You just had Joe Trippi on the air. A lot of Dean people had committed to showing up, didn't because they were no longer backing their candidate, and we had a crisis just before we went on the air. Last night, we had a whole bunch of Coakley people who had committed to showing up and canceled on us a few hours before.
They knew what was going on. All right, now, the Coakley attack ad, you know, saying the guy's a Stone Age troglodyte, which was basically it, trying to scare Massachusetts voters, didn't even do well with Democrats.
No, what the Democrats need to realize is that old campaign of trying to blame this on Bush Cheney doesn't work when it's now been a year since Bush and Cheney were in office, that the people of Massachusetts who voted overwhelmingly for Barack Obama still believe that this administration now should be held accountable for what's happening right now in the economy. And the Republican Brown, when he looked the camera straight in the eye and said that this is old-fashioned politics, that's what cut through. And we asked our group last night, and almost everyone said that Coakley ran a bad campaign, a much more negative campaign. Warning for candidates in 2010, if you plan to beat the heck out of your opponent, plan for voters to hold you accountable for it.
Yeah, well, I think negative ads still work, but they have to be very specific and precise. They can't be just like all over the place. Now, you also dialed up two President Obama situations. The first one, he traveled to Massachusetts, the president did, and he talked about Scott Brown. Go.
He's driving his truck around the Commonwealth, and he says that he'll, you know, he gets you, that he fights for you, that he'll be an independent voice. And, you know, I don't know him. He may be a perfectly nice guy. I don't know his record, but I don't know whether he's been fighting for you up until now, but.
All right, so when he said he didn't know his record, the thing went down because people would say, well, if you don't know his record, why are you mocking him?
And he did badly among Democrats.
Right.
There was no positive response. What I saw yesterday for the first time is that magic tongue of Barack Obama really wasn't penetrating, not just with those who voted for John McCain, but it's not working as well even with Barack Obama.
I'm not making excuses for him because he certainly should have been prepared. If he's going to go to Massachusetts and talk bad about Scott Brown, he ought to know why he's talking about it. He goes, I don't know his policies. And you're going, well, what the heck are you doing up here? That was my reaction. All right, we have another one. This is on Brown's record as the president continues to try to persuade people in Massachusetts to vote for Martha Coakley. Of course, it did not work. Roll it.
As a legislator, he voted with the Republicans 96% of the time. 96% of the time. It's hard to suggest that he's going to be significantly independent from the Republican agenda. Forget the ads. Everybody can run sleeves. Forget the truck. Everybody can buy a truck.
All right, now the truck, as soon as you said forget the truck, the Republicans didn't, they like the truck.
They like the truck.
That scored pretty well among Democrats, though, that last one.
But still not that great. And what this is saying is don't make fun of someone. You have to talk about substantial issues. You have to present them in a clear and concise way. And Barack Obama is simply not as powerful as he was. He's not as good an orator. And, Bill, we're going to be doing these focus groups over the coming year for the next 10 months. And if your viewers have an interest and they want to participate, to actually get into one of these sessions, grab a dial themselves and get a chance to be heard, they need to go to theworddoctors.com. Theworddoctors.com. They can sign up and they can be participating in this.
Okay, so it's Word Doctors, one word, Word Doctors?
Theworddoctors.com.
CTORS.com, if you guys want to get in and have Frank poll you. Now, a couple of observations here. I don't think President Obama could have turned that vote no matter what he said going up there. I think that election was decided probably on Friday, last Friday. He went up on Sunday. The president had to know that it was a big gamble, that he was going to lose face, as I said in the Talking Points memo. Why did he do it?
One has to ask, why did he go to New Jersey when he knew he was going to lose?
Well, but that race was in play. That race was in play between Corzine and Christie. Jersey was in play. This one, his own people, you remember, Frank, over the weekend, the White House is already saying, hey, bad candidate, don't blame us. And he still goes up. I was stunned that he went up.
But let me give you the statistics behind it, how significant this was. It's not been since 1972 that a Republican won the state in a presidential race. There hasn't been a Republican senator. Last elector was 1972. The fact that the Democrats would lose this race, regardless of whether Barack Obama went up there or not, is something that if I said to you 1 month ago that a Republican was going to win, you'd never have me on your program again.
Okay, all of
you
that's
assumed that
true,
I was out to lunch.
But Obama put himself in a position to be embarrassed, did he not?
Because he thinks that he can turn an electorate, and what we've learned, Bill, is that with his job approval numbers falling, he can't turn people anymore.
Well, you mean you're telling me he didn't learn from Virginia and he didn't learn from New Jersey?
Exactly.
Hard to believe. Frank, thanks very much. And remember, if you want to sign up with Frank, worddoctors.com. Plenty more Head Is a Fact here. Moves along this evening. Dennis Miller can't